Here we have Rob Lucci, a leader that definitely saw a play when he dropped, pointing fingers at people. Now, barely sees any play. If anything, people trying to figure out if they can even make him relevant. Return to his former state of glory. But it is what it is. Now to get into the reason why. This game is about resources. The fact that you got to discard 2 cards is very detrimental. Just to swing again. We do understand that the ability to swing multiple times is a strong one. It's a very strong ability. Problem is, you're losing 2 cards from your hand. That is insane in the world of One Piece. That is tough and dangerous in the world of One Piece. So it's like ultimately you're looking at a closeout play with this leader's ability, which then makes us talk about how accessible the leader ability is. So you have to not only discard 2 cards, but you also got to catch a KO, right? You got to catch a body just to be able to set this leader as active. So what low key, there's another condition here. You would have to have swung with your leader already, catch a KO, then and discard 2 cards to then restand your leader. When all these conditions are met, you can now attack again. But you're setting yourself so far back when you trash your 2 cards that it's like, hey, if you're not already with a luscious hand size, you better hope you're closing the game out. And that's probably what their intention was. Because you can technically give this character all the Dawn available, 10 Dawn, and swing for 15 twice. That's rare. Because a lot of double swings in this game require you to have Dawn, active Dawn, and you have to rest that Dawn, right? This leader does not. That's what makes this leader double swing special. But you're afraid of blockers, multiple blockers. If there is 2 blockers on the board, it don't matter. You're not getting through. If the opponent just so happens to have adequate counter power, then you set yourself back for almost nothing. You'd be a little salty. You can't really afford to use it if your opponent got too much life. You can't really afford to use it if your opponent has multiple blockers on the board. You can't really afford to use it if your opponent is threatening event counters, because the common event counter is a 4K buff. So not only you have to, not only your leader ability is technically not accessible, respectfully, it's technically not accessible because you have to meet all these conditions, but then you have to think to yourself, am I really going to discard 2 cards early in the game just so I can swing again? Because then you're looking at losing 4 cards out of your hand throughout the game. Hey, whatever it takes to win, sure. But that usually comes off as not rational because this game is about resources. And if your opponent can mitigate the damage of that second swing, you're kind of doing your opponent the favor by discarding 2 cards out of your hand.
Now I would say if Rob Lucci had a character card like Perispero, how Big Mom has on KO, you get to search for another card, then maybe that could offset the whole discarding because you'd always have another extra card after this card is destroyed. So you potentially be able to use this effect more. Just keep your hand presence up there. But that's what I would say, my 2 cents.
What's interesting, as CP9 likes to mill and put cards in trash, and what was it, they were the first set of cards to return cards to the bottom of the deck from the trash, but yet the leader requires cards in hand to really get the effect off. You would imagine that they would set some sort of system to allow the leader to gain some more cards or mitigate the discard, whether you're drawing 1 or just outright getting 2 cards back. That could be considered very strong, but come on, at this state in the One Piece TCG, letting this leader attack multiple times in a game, I think it's okay. The way things are going, the way things are looking, if this leader manages to double swing 2 to 3 times in a match consistently, I think that's fair enough because we already know swinging multiple times is very impactful. So it's a very impactful ability. It's just how accessible it is the problem. It's not very accessible. So I don't know. I don't think you'll create chaos because of what's already happening. I mean, chaos is already afoot. We had to deal with the terrors of Whitebeard being so tanky and for short-lived, the speed of purple dropping these crazy big bodies. But now we got to deal with the board removal of Sakazuki, and then of course in the future we're gonna have to deal with that Yamato double attack situation going on. But like all in all, this leader is swinging twice, 2 to 3 times in a game. I think that's fair. I don't think that's breaking the game. Some people, if you have nightmares of this leader, you're probably telling yourself, "Oh, nah, that's broken." But come on, respectfully, compared to what's already out there and what already can swing multiple times in one game, letting this man ditch 4 to 6 cards out his hand is not making him broken if he can swing multiple times throughout the match. But as of right now, instead of helping this leader, they just reprinted him. It is what it is.